preceptorship at Kaiser this summer. And so to start off, how many of you guys know what a gastric bypass surgery is? Okay, well I'll explain to you. So a gastric bypass surgery is essentially a weight loss surgery that reduces the size of your stomach and allows you to absorb less food and makes you fuller faster, and it's supposed to help you lose weight. And so the first time I heard of this surgery was when I was shadowing a doctor at the internal medicine clinic, and she had a patient that came in, and the patient was a 40-year-old man. He was severely obese, and he was over 300 pounds, and he came in wanting this surgery. When he came in, the physician asked him, "Are you sure this is the surgery that you want? Why can't you do a traditional weight loss plan? Why can't you go through that and lose weight in a traditional way?" And he responded by saying, "Oh, it's too hard, it's going to take too long, I've already tried, and I just want to get back to my normal life and be a good role model for my kids because I hate being overweight." And so the physician and the patient, they kept arguing back and forth about what was the best treatment option for this patient. Was it going to be surgery, or was it going to be a traditional weight loss plan? And so the doctor, she was really passionate about getting him to do the traditional weight loss plan, because the drawbacks of this surgery are that if you continue your regular eating habits, you're just going to easily regain this weight, and it's going to be a waste of the surgery. And so the only way to truly lose the weight was to change his diet plan and to create a more routine exercise plan. And so eventually the doctor convinced the patient that he was going to do a traditional weight loss. And traditionally, most doctors spend around 20 minutes with each patient, and this doctor, she spent 1 hour with this patient. And she spent this 1 hour literally having pieces of paper and planning out a diet plan for him and writing down what foods he needs to cut out of his diet and what other foods he needs to consume more of. She also created an exercise plan for him of how many times a day he would exercise and what kinds of activities he would do to improve his health. And this man, he walked out with a plan and motivated to lose weight and get back to his ideal weight. And seeing the passion that this doctor had in helping her patient was really admirable to me, and the extra time she spent to really help him and advocate for his health was also really inspiring for me. And after the case, me and the physician, we went back to her office, and we started talking, and she kind of gave me some advice, and she told me the one thing she would tell me is that in order to be successful, to find something that I'm truly passionate about. And to find something I'm truly passionate about and to have grit in pursuing my passion. And when she first mentioned this word grit, I didn't really know what she was talking about, and this is what I thought of when she said grit. I thought of grits like the southern food. So I thought of, but when I got back home, when I researched it, I found that grit is really a passion and perseverance to achieving a long-term goal. And upon defining this term, I realized that the doctor that I was shadowing that day, she was the perfect embodiment of this term. She didn't let her patient take that shortcut. She made sure that she was an advocate for his health. And with her other patients, she didn't just prescribe the medications and let them go home so she could go about her day and get home early. She really sat down and made a plan, whether it was the patient had diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity. She really took the time to spend the time with each patient and make sure she improved their health. And to me, that was true grit. And so overall, just in medicine in general, I think grit is an incredibly important aspect to have, because becoming a doctor and becoming a nurse is one of the hardest pathways, I feel like, compared to a lot of career fields. It has really long schooling. For a doctor, it's around 10 to 12 years of schooling, and med school and residency, it's really a marathon, and you have to have that stamina in order to complete it. And a lot of the doctors I talked to, they were telling me that they weren't the top of their class, and they didn't have the highest IQ, but what set them apart from the other doctors who didn't make it to where they were was that they were supremely perseverant, and they weren't afraid to make those mistakes, and they kind of saw failure as a learning opportunity and a way to improve themselves. And so after this preceptorship, I kind of realized that. And so overall, during this preceptorship, I not only confirmed my passion to go into medicine, but I also kind of put everything into perspective around me. Before this preceptorship, I knew I wanted to be a doctor, but that goal seemed really far-fetched to me, and I didn't think I could achieve it. A lot of the people around me were saying, oh, maybe you should just become, go to business or go to engineering. It's a lot easier. The schooling is less intense. I think you don't have the motivation. You don't have the motivation to really go through this schooling. But I think after seeing these nurses and these doctors kind of achieve what I wanted to, and seeing ordinary people achieve something that I wanted to, makes it seem more possible for me, and it makes it that much easier to kind of, work every day to achieve that goal. And that was what's really inspiring to me. So, what does it mean to be successful? After this preceptorship, being successful to me means having grit, means having that passion and that perseverance. And I think that at the end of the day, that's what makes someone successful. But I feel like we all know that, in order to be successful, you have to work hard, you have to persevere, and you have to face failure. And we all know that. But how do you do that? How do you have grit? And how do you apply that to your life? And so after talking to a lot of the nurses and the doctors and medical professionals, I kind of compiled a list of 3 tips to be gritty. And so the first one is to find your passion. And I feel like that's hard. A lot of people tell you to follow your passion or to follow your dreams, but I would love to follow my dreams if only I knew what my passion was. And so what I would say is just exploring what's out there and exploring all the different career fields that are out there. So kind of like what we're doing in this preceptorship is a really good opportunity, whether it be, volunteering at a hospital to explore the medical field, or going to Intel to see into the life of an engineer, pursuing something new like art or film or writing, and kind of putting behind you your past judgments about a certain career field, because you never know, that one career field that you limited yourself to could be something you really love. And the second tip is to set goals. And that, everyone says set goals, but it's really important, I think, and, having grit. So one of the physical therapists that I shadowed, he had one of these in his office, and he told me that it was an inspiration board or a vision wall. And what he did on this board was he had his long-term goals and his short-term goals, and just pictures of things he wanted to achieve, maybe a picture of like a vacation he wanted to go to, or a disease he wanted to look more into. And he told me to set long-term goals, but also set the short-term goals, because it makes it seem more achievable, and kind of breaking down things into manageable tasks so that your passion and your dream doesn't seem as daunting and unachievable. And the third and final tip that I would say is having a growth mindset. And this kind of means being open-minded and learning to accept failure, and not being scared of jumping into new opportunities. So rather than sticking to what you know, maybe exploring something new. And rather than thinking that your potential is predetermined or something, thinking that your work ethic is what really is going to determine your abilities. And I think for a lot of us, having this growth mindset, especially during, as we're applying to colleges and things like that, having being open-minded towards different colleges, and not only just applying to schools that have like that brand name or that really small acceptance rate, but kind of opening your options up to other things. And to kind of end my presentation, I wanted to end off with a quote. This is a quote from my old swim team when I used to live in the Midwest, and it says, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary.